I'm Hilary, a mom in Oklahoma,
And I'm Hannah, a mom in Texas.
and this is the Don't Need to Read podcast. Hi, guys. Okay, so today we're going to finish off Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
I know it's so crazy.
It feels really fast.
Well, compared to the book one, it is fast. We flew through.
Yeah, a lot of combining chapters, but I feel like we could do it. It felt realistic for this book, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Because even with it, the way we have added chapters, we've still not even passed like 30 minutes, I think, every episode.
Yeah, and I think honestly, like we don't need an exact play by play for every single thing that happens. So it's just kind of like our thoughts on it. But today we're going to do chapters 16, 17, and 18. So literally just the finale. Everything is wrapping up. In 15, this was where I'm like, I'm sure you guys can hear everything because my child, I was telling Hannah, lost what is it called? Pop cover or
Yes, yes. I think that is what it's called.
it's called something else.
It's that mic little cushion on the
Yeah, and so
microphone.
you can hear literally everything. So I apologize. Okay, in chapter 15, oh, we found out that, well, we are kind of assuming that Myrtle was the girl who died because
Hmm.
Aragog was like, there's a girl dead in the bathroom. So they kind of figure out it's Moaning Myrtle. So that's kind of where we're starting out here with. And then we have chapter 16, which is the Chamber of Secrets, which is the title of the book. So,
So just like setting the scene, we have exams that are happening, which I think is funny because part of me was like, they're still doing exams, but then I think it's Professor McGonagall. She's like, that's the point. Like you're here, we're keeping you at school, then you're still gonna do tests. I'm like, that's true.
that was my first note was still have exams. And it's funny because she said, therefore, the first week of June. And I was like, man, I guess they start late,
They
right?
do
Like they're
start
starting
late.
September.
Right.
So it makes sense. But it feels late to me in the United States, I guess. Like
June.
still in June, they're still going.
We have the mandrakes that are finally ready to make the potion for all the kids who have been petrified. And Ginny comes, she wants to talk to who is she trying to talk to? Ron?
Yeah, and Harry. Um, well, this was funny because it said, I have a note, Ginny is acting like Dobby, which is what they said in the book, not me. That was the book said, or Harry thought. She's like, oh, she's behaving like Dobby, like really
Oh,
evasive and weird. And I'm like, man, that is not a compliment, especially because
but
Harry does not really like Dobby very
you're
much.
you're like this explains it all.
Yeah, I was like,
Your
you know what?
feelings
Maybe
for
that's
both.
why. Yeah.
I thought this was very bizarre. Okay, so
hmm
this part where Percy comes up and then Ginny is like, "Never mind," because yeah, she's acting weird. She
She's like,
wants
I
to
have to
tell
tell
them.
you something. And then Percy comes and she's like, never mind.
So she runs away and they're like, "Well, that was weird." And then Percy's like, "Well, I mean, what is it?
He's like,
Percy's
she
like,
saw me
she
doing
saw me
something.
doing something weird.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
And I had to know I was because I didn't remember. They do explain what he was doing. But we didn't know. I was like, what is this implying?
Yeah, I
Because
had a note. What was Percy doing? LOL.
yeah, mine says,
Uh,
"Excuse me, what?"
yeah. Well, it's probably like as an adult, and I feel like we are darker people anyway. So I'm like, I would be like, no, you're gonna tell me right now what it was. Like, you can't be.
Yeah, go find her, chase her down.
Well, no, I mean Percy
Oh,
now. I'm
yeah.
like,
Everybody, I'm like, family meeting. What's going on?
Well, Percy's like, she probably saw me doing something. I can't tell you what it was. I'm like,
And yeah, they said that Percy was extremely uncomfortable, and Ron is like, "Well, tell me." He's laughing. He thinks it's funny. Tell us. We won't laugh. And then Percy did not smile back and changed the subject. I was like,
yeah. I'm like,
"Ew."
what crime did you commit? Or,
Yeah, I was sketched out with that.
but they're children, so they don't think as twisted as we do, I guess. So they're just like, what did you do? Like, it must be silly. I'm like, this was something perverse.
I
Like, I don't know.
know.
That's basically it with Percy. So we know they kind of sneak around. I mean, they really want to get to see Moni Myrtle, but they're like on a short leash right now because you remember like the teachers have to go with them everywhere. They can't go anywhere unsupervised. And so they kind of make an excuse because Professor McGonagall sees them like going towards the bathroom and she's like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "Well, lie. We want to go see Hermione." And she's like, "Oh, well, that's understandable." The one time. So
Hmm.
then, like, well, we have to go now that she said that. So they go see Hermione in the hospital, who's she's still petrified, but we know like she's gonna be okay.
Hmm.
And then they find the paper. They see a piece of paper in her hand, and of course, I have a note to read it.
Hmm.
Of the many fearsome beasts and monsters that roam our land, there is none more curious or more deadly than the basilisk. Is that how you say it? Basilisk?
Basilisk.
Basilisk. Basilisk.
Yes.
Known also as the king of serpents. This snake, which may reach gigantic size and live many hundreds of years, is born from a chicken's egg, which is super weird, hatched
Yeah.
beneath a toad. Its methods of killing are most wondrous. For aside from its deadly and venomous fangs, the basilisk has a murderous stare, and all who are fixed with the beam of its eye shall suffer instant death. Spiders flee, which is what we've seen, before the basilisk, for it is their mortal enemy, and the basilisk flees only from the crowing of the rooster. Interesting, which is fatal to it. And
Oh.
then a single word had been written below that passage in Hermione's handwriting, and it said pipes. And it all clicked finally. Like, oh, this serpent, the basilisk, it's in the pipes. And that's why no one else heard it. And it's because I understand parcel tongue, which it kind of clicked for me too. I was like, oh, there's the weird voice. Like he's like,
Mm.
it's in my head. It's in my head. And so it wasn't really in his head. He was hearing the snake
Hmm.
speaking. So that was why he could hear it and no one else could. So that kind of like solved that mystery of what that was. And then they kind of put two and two together how that's why when Hermione was frozen or petrified, um, she had a mirror. Or they
Hmm.
had a mirror with them, her and that girl.
Yeah, and this is interesting too. They talk about how the basilisk kills people by looking at them in their eyes, but nobody this school session died because no one looked it straight in the eye. So they explain each person. Colin saw it through his camera.
Mm-hmm.
Justin saw the basilisk through nearly headless Nick. So Nick got the full blast of it and he couldn't die again. And then Hermione and the other girl had the mirror. So Hermione was using it to look around the corners. And then Mrs. Norris was the water, the reflection in the water. I saw online and some people were mad about it. They were like, this is the worst basilisk that literally, how did it not kill anybody? And I was like, I thought it was
It's
pretty
middle
cool.
it's
She had,
middle grade though. Like
I mean, it got Moaning Myrtle, but I thought it was very creative how she came up with all these ways that it did not actually get them directly in the eye. So I thought it was cool. I liked it.
that is interesting. But it could also bite.
Well, it didn't.
I know.
Is it because people kept stumbling across them like immediately?
I don't know, but he also makes a note later, which we'll get to, but he says, I'm not interested in killing mudbloods anymore. Or I like he doesn't really care about other people killing them, you know?
Hmm.
But what petrifies them?
It's still the reflection. It's the gaze. So it's still them looking at it. It's just not directly.
So enough to petrify, just not kill.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. I'm like, apparently this is written for me as well. Like I was like, it's for kids. I'm like, I don't know. Okay. And then I forgot about this, that Hagrid's roosters were killed.
I forgot about that too. When?
I don't know.
I don't
I
remember that happening.
because those could kill the basilisk.
Yes.
But that's
That
why
is weird.
the spiders are always running from it. Okay, so then we hear they're discovering all this and they're like, we need to go. Oh, what about the bathroom? Like, what the pipes and this? And I don't know. They're like, okay, it has to be the Chamber of Secrets, the door has to be in Moaning Myrtle's bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And because she died too, like, and she's there, like, haunting the bathroom. And this is the first time I've seen it in the last two books where Ron says, "What should we do?" Like, and Ron suggests, "Let's go talk to McGonagall," which is funny. I was like, "Oh, talk to an adult." Like, they want to try to talk to an adult. And so that's what they plan to do. They're going. And then they hear a voice like, all students need to go back to their house dormitories. All teachers go to the staff room right now. And Harry's like, that's when they're like, never mind, we're just going to go to the staff room and hide.
I
instead of
know. I was like, why?
instead of telling the teachers, like Ron just, I don't know, it was a blip. They thought about doing the right thing.
Yeah. Well, they were like, let's just over listen. Let's listen first, and then we'll pop out and tell them. I was like,
Oh my
what are they?
God.
But again, what 12-year-olds?
12,
Yeah.
yeah. They overhear when they're in the closet that the monster in the Chamber of Secrets stole a student or taken by the monster right into the chamber. And they said, "How do you know?" And she said, "Well, there's another message left under the first one." Oh, that's right, Hannah. It was with the blood. That's what they drew the message with, the rooster blood. Remember? But I don't
Oh,
remember the roosters actually being killed. But there's left
interesting.
another message was left right under the first one. Her skeleton will lie in the chamber forever. And they said, "Who is it?" And it's Ginny. And so Ron is obviously upset by that. And then I did like this part because Snape obviously is like we're not supposed to like Snape, but I kind of did here because he's like, "Oh, just the man." Like
Yeah.
Gilderoy's here. He just came in and he's like, Your time has come. Like, you get to go fight this force." And he's like, "Oh, perfect. What is it?" And he's like, "Well, you got to go to the Chamber of Secrets. Like, you said you've known all along where it is. And didn't you say," and all the teachers are like, "Yeah, didn't you
Yeah.
say, like, you knew what was in it and you knew how to do it?" And
Yeah, I loved that. Literally all of them were just like making fun of him, and I thought that was perfect.
then Professor McGonagall was like, "Yep, we'll leave it to you. Go do it." And then they lock him out basically. And she's like, "All right, well, we can actually work now." But so they all kind of knew like he's just a dope and useless. I think then they decide, okay, well, we said we were going to tell a teacher, but let's go to Lockhart because he's going to go. I don't know.
Well, so yeah, they go to him and he's packing up his whole office.
Yeah, he's leaving. And he
He's
just
leaving.
tells them, like, "Yeah, I'm a fraud, whatever. I don't care."
He's like, "Well, that's sad," because Ron's like, "No, but we gotta save Ginny. We gotta save Ginny." And he's like, "Well, no, I didn't plan on doing anything." And so then he talks about also his books and because they're like, "You've done, all these different things and that you talk about in your books." And he's like, "Nah, I did not do any of those things."
Someone
And
else, like other people did.
other people did, and he took their stories. So, like, he says, "Well, I did a lot of work. Like, I tracked all the people down, I got all of their stories, and then I used a memory charm on them so they would not remember that event." Um, so that's it. That's how his books and how his experience has come to be.
But they're like, "No, it doesn't matter. You got to go now. Like, you're already here. You need to go too." And because he's like, "Well, I'm not gonna go," but how did they get them to go? How did they get him to go to the bathroom?
Well, they used the spell, so they get him with
Oh,
the
they took his wand away from him. Yeah.
Expelliarmus. Yeah, so they get that, and then it says they marched him out of his office. Yeah, I mean, he's just a coward. He no backbone at all. Listening to the children, and they sent him in first. And it says Harry was pleased to see he was shaking. So, I mean, he is just a joke time and time
So
again.
they talk to Myrtle, and Myrtle's like, "I don't know how I died. I just know something like with eyes, and I was floating away, whatever. And they find the pipe in the bathroom with a snake carved in it, and Harry's able to open it. And then, yes, they make Lockhart go first, slide into it, like it becomes a slide, and then Harry and Ron follow. And that's when Lockhart tries to attack Ron and steals Ron's wand and does the Obliviate spell. But that's what we were talking about, that Ron's wand is trash. And so it ended up shooting himself with it and caused a whole like
Crash,
yeah,
like
like a
avalanche or whatever that's
yeah,
called, a cave in or what is that called?
yeah, I don't know, like a rock slide. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's why so they got separated, right? Because I was like, why did Harry go by
Ron
himself?
and Gilderoy were on one side, I think, and
Yeah.
then the rocks came down between Harry and them.
Yeah.
And yeah, Gilderoy has no memory of nothing. Like, he doesn't even know who he is anymore.
Pretty
Which
bad.
stays like this forever.
Forever. Yeah. And so Harry's like, I got to go on without you. So he goes and has it still more parcel tongue and continues on. Basically, it's like it felt like Indiana Jones to me,
Hmm.
like another tunnel and this and whatever.
Kind of
So
reminded me of book one.
yeah, which we did have chambers. They call them chambers there too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have chapter 17, the heir of Slytherin. So we're just continuing on where he does find Ginny. And it says like she's not dead, but it's like almost like she's dead because like
Dying.
yeah, like her face is white, cold, her eyes are closed, but she it says her eyes are closed so she wasn't petrified. But
Hmm.
then we see Tom Riddle, like he's the boy and Harry recognizes him from the
The dream vision or
visions.
whatever.
Yeah. And this was interesting. All interesting takes. We learn a lot about Tom. He's a memory, right?
Hmm.
That's kind of weird. He's a memory preserved in a diary. So I don't know how that works, but and it's funny because he says Harry wants to know more, but there are more pressing matters to deal with.
Well, and this whole time, Harry, it took him a while to get with the program. He is like convinced that Tom Riddle is good, like for a long time.
Yeah, yeah, because he's like, help me take
Yeah.
out Ginny, help
And
me,
he's like,
like,
we'll talk. And then he's like, Tom takes his wand and he still is like,
all right, give it to me, and we're in the Chamber of Secrets. We can't be here.
yeah, I was like, bro. So Tom literally has to like spell it out for him. He's like, you won't be needing your wand. And he's like, what do you mean? And he's just telling him, he tells him the whole story about the diary. And do you want to talk about the diary?
I mean, just basically, Jenny's been writing to him. She figured it out. Like, she found the diary and started writing in it, I guess, just as a diary. And
Hmm.
then it started writing back to her. And he was like, she's so stupid, but I was very sympathetic, very understanding. And
Which is very Predator
yeah,
vibe, like big time.
got her trust. And, she would share her secrets with me, and I would just be understanding. And then I got to share with her. I don't know, that just weirdness. And then in that process, he was able to overtake her soul. Is that
It's weird.
right?
It says, Ginny poured out her soul to me, and her soul happened to be exactly what I wanted. I grew stronger and stronger on off of her deepest fears and her darkest secrets.
And he gained strength. Yeah.
Yes, so then start pouring a little bit of my soul back into her. Very weird, which I think this is also a little bit of a foreshadowing for Voldemort because we do in this whole conversation, Tom Riddle is like, "Well, I'm Voldemort." And that's like the reveal. But
Hmm.
so this is a foreshadowing for sure of like I mean, because it's confusing, but this is where he's preserving himself in the diary. So we will see more of that later.
Yeah. So Ginny was the one who opened the Chamber of Secrets, being basically possessed by him. And
Hmm.
that's how he got the strength, was basically using her through secrets. And that's basically it. Like the secrets gave him strength, which is again another like not a double entendre, not like in that way, but kind of like a metaphor or so, I don't know, right? Yes. Like,
Mm.
yes, the secrets made Lord Voldemort stronger, but also like it's showing that picture to kids, like secrets, like that's where darkness gains power in secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Like light doesn't really need secrets to be effective. Darkness does. So anyway, Ginny did all that. Like Ginny said, Ginny killed the roosters and Ginny drew the blood on the wall and but she would wake up confused, like covered in blood or whatever. And she was like, she never really got that Tom was the bad one though. It took her a long time because
She did get suspicious because that was when she threw it, and that's when
yeah,
Harry found it. So
yes.
I guess she knew something. I don't know. We don't, I want her POV. I'm like, pull in Ginny.
Hmm. She kind of figured out what was happening eventually, but it was too late, kind of. So she threw it away. Harry found it, and then she went and stole it back because he made her, or whatever, told her to steal it back. So that's where the Gryffindor person that we saw took it from Harry's room. And then he said he made Ginny write her own farewell, which is cruel. And says she put too much into the diary and to me, enough to let me leave its pages at last. I've been waiting for you to appear. And whatever. They have this whole talk. And that's whenever, like you said, his name was Tom Marvolo Riddle, and the letters rearranged themselves to say, I am Lord Voldemort. So then we got it. Like, okay, so Lord Voldemort was at Hogwarts, and this was 50 years ago. Um, so he hates Voldemort. I'm sorry, he hates Dumbledore because he's like, Dumbledore was kind of always onto him. He
Mm-hmm.
was suspicious of him. Um, and then we see Fox,
Mm-hmm.
which is a phoenix, and because he's like, all right, you gotta die now. Like, you gotta go. And so Fox comes and he drops the sorting hat to Harry, and everyone's kind of confused by that.
Oh, wait, all around the same time that Voldemort mentions how he's similar to Harry and like all their similarities, which we've always seen that from book one, and I feel like we continue to see that through the whole series.
Basically, Voldemort is just like, I don't know how you lived. Like, I'm gonna figure it out. I just don't know. And we'll keep addressing that over and over. How Harry has confronted Voldemort several times and has lived.
And he releases the basilisk.
Yes, that was kind of gross. But he's like, all right, he's telling the snake to kill him, leave the bird alone, kill it. And so I couldn't like I could not figure out why in that moment Harry puts the hat on his head.
Yes. I was like, where are the other characters in the story while he's doing this? Like putting the hat on his head and he's like, help me, help me. And I'm like, where, what? What is everyone else in the room doing?
I think like I have no idea what to do anymore. I'm just putting this on because he gave it to me. I don't know that I would be thinking about putting on a hat at the moment, but it apparently was the right choice because he figured out there's something in the hat and he was able to pull a sword out and he had courage, which is, Gryffindor, and
Yeah.
he was able to stab the snake but he got bitten.
Yeah, the fang is literally in his arm.
And then he did figure out though that he had to stab the book.
Well, and also as he's dying, Dumbledore's bird, peacock, or well, not peacock, the phoenix, Dumbledore's phoenix comes over and he's crying
Oh, yes.
and Voldemort is like, "Oh, ha ha ha, he's crying because he knows you're dying." But then there was earlier in the book mentioned that the phoenix has healing powers from their tears. So Harry doesn't die and he's healed. And then, yes, he plunges the fang into the diary and then ink sprays everywhere. Tom Riddle's screaming, flailing around, and then poof, gone.
Okay, and then Ginny wakes up after that, and they kind of make their way back through the tunnels to Ron
Yes.
and back to the adults, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
they make
then
it. So that's chapter 18 now. Dobby's reward, last chapter. And so they make it back to the adults. They have the Professor Dumbledore's there, Professor McGonagall, and the Weasley parents. They're all there, which they were there because they knew Ginny have been taken. And so Harry's like, how do I do this without getting Ginny in trouble? And Dumbledore kind of helps him out. And he's just like, what interests me most is how did Lord Voldemort manage to enchant Ginny when my sources tell me he's currently hiding in Albania? So he kind of throws him a bone, helps him out. And basically, Ginny's not in trouble. She just needs to go to the nurse for some hot chocolate.
Yeah, she got out really lucky. Okay, so there's a quote though here that I noted. I love it. So, Mr. Weasley regarding the
Oh,
diary,
yes.
he tells her, "Haven't I taught you anything? What have I always told you? Never trust anything if you can't see where it keeps its brain." We see that idea several times in this series because I distinctively remember there's a part where Mrs. Weasley tells the boys that also at some, and I don't know if it was in book one or later, but she does. So this is like a major thing in the series. And I've seen a lot of people talk about this quote in regard to AI. And I think,
Hmm.
I think it's interesting because this book was written so long ago. And I think
Well,
that,
before AI.
yeah, but I'm like, yeah, this is actually interesting that it's very relevant even in like real life.
Hmm.
Um, so I like that.
Okay. So she went to the nurse's office, or what do they call it? The hospital wing. Uh, Lockhart went to St. Mungo's. Is that what they said?
Yeah, I think so because yeah, he doesn't even know his name.
Did I
So,
make that up, or did I like? Oh, he went to the infirmary too. I'm like, where did I make up? He went to St. Mungo's. I think we do hear that later, or anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's gone. And Defense Against the Dark Arts, that whole class is done for the year.
yes, it says that they see him in Order of the Phoenix. He has permanent amnesia and he's a long-term resident in St. Mungo's.
Okay, so then they have a talk. Dumbledore has a talk with Harry, and they don't get much into it, but they hint at it because he's like, "Hey, you're a part. You can speak parcel tongue, Harry, because Lord Voldemort can." Um, and Harry's like, "He put a bit of himself in me," and he's like, "Yes, it seems so." And so we have that debate again about like, well, should I be in Slytherin? And he's like, no, you should be in Gryffindor. You were able to use the sword of Gryffindor, which was in the hat.
Hmm.
So you are where you need to be. And you chose like, you chose where you needed to be. So you are where you need to be. So that was soothing for him. And then we see Dobby freed from Malfoy.
Why did Malfoy give the diary? Because that was the whole thing, is that he's
Oh,
the one
yes.
who gave the diary to Ginny the day they were shopping.
I think he just wanted to get Weasley in trouble. Like he hates him, so he's like, let's give his family something. I don't know. I don't
My
know.
biggest my biggest guess assumption is that because Arthur Weasley was looking into his house and like wanting to pass legislation for something about like dark arts
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whatever. So I was like maybe he was like getting rid of it and trying to put it on Weasley, I guess. I don't know.
That is basically it. Oh, we found out what Percy was doing. We have to
Yes.
address that.
Jenny saw Percy has a girlfriend and they were kissing, which, and I have a note. It is a big relief because it sounded very sketchy when this was mentioned earlier. Okay, do you have any other thoughts about this book?
No, I just thought it was funny how they're like, your aunt and uncle must be will be so happy you're okay. And he's like, they're gonna be sad that like the basilisk didn't kill me or
That's
whatever.
terrible.
That's kind of it, the ending.
I was talking to my child about the book because he's read it and I have it. I'm gonna try to play it. Hold on.
Oh, you recorded it.
Yeah.
256.
Oh, I asked him how many times he's read it. Okay, so hold on.
Okay, who is your favorite character?
Harry.
Why?
I don't know. He is my favorite because he's in Gryffindor.
Okay, who is your least favorite character in this book, in Chamber of Secrets?
Lori Lockhart.
I thought you liked him.
I don't.
Okay, why is he your least favorite?
Because he doesn't know that his Ron's wand is not working.
Okay, what is your favorite part of this book?
when he fights the basilisk.
We'll stop there. He actually retained. He knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we're done with the book, Hilary, tell us what's next.
Okay, so we'll be back next week, and we're gonna continue with Harry Potter. However, we're going to do it in a little bit of a different way, especially because I'm about to have my baby. And so we are gonna have an episode next week, and then we have a break for spring break the following week after that. And then we will be back after that, more than likely. I mean, I might be back after that. We'll just see if I've had the baby before then. If not, Hannah does have plans. Like we will have guests for a couple weeks. And yeah, just something to look forward to. It'll be very similar to what we did before Harry Potter, but more casual. So we will be talking about books that we're in the middle of, not necessarily we have finished, and then just like a topic that we've wanted to talk about. And just really low key to where anyone can pop in and out at any time.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So until then, where can we find you?
I'm at Hilary Reads,
And I'm at Hannah Reads.
and our podcast is at Don't You to Read Podcast, all on Instagram. And so just come follow us and talk to us. We want to hear what you think about the ending of Chamber Secrets, but we would like to know what you would like to hear us talk about, because I know I'll have a little baby, but I will have more time at home to devote to the podcast. So that's exciting. So let us know what you would like us to talk about. So, because we need a few ideas.
Yeah, topic suggestions. You can DM us anytime. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.